course, this is, look what happened. Okay. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. This is your girl, Dr. Dawn, your certified life coach. And as I always say, I have to make this little disclaimer. If you want a prescription for a Xanax or a Ritalin, or a little Vicodin, don't call Dr. Dawn. But if you do want a prescription in truth and life and love, I am your girl. Happy Friday, everybody. And later on in the show, Dr. Dawn will be doing her Q&A, and I will be giving you some guidance and wisdom in life and love, and also giving you my daily dose to give you some positivity. But without further ado, I think, can I say the hottest couple is in the Love Lounge? The hottest couple. Hottest couple on earth, Tristan and CeCe Sutton. Tristan, boss talk, insurance man, everything, and CeCe's pieces. How are y'all?
We're doing fantastic. Happy Friday.
Oh my God. Love the spirit. Y'all are so awesome. Celebrated 10 years. 10 years strong.
Decades.
Yeah. I was there, y'all, and I saw it. And look, it wasn't a facade they were putting on. It wasn't like after the party he was grabbing about a neck and they were putting on a show. No. How are y'all? Y'all are awesome. Y'all are so awesome. 10 years. 10 years strong, right?
Oh, it's been strong.
God is good, right? Because I'm telling you, they say marriages don't last, but you all do. You all prove that marriages do last. But I want to hear a little bit of your background, because we see CeCe and Tristan, and y'all going to eat everywhere and looking fabulous, doing amazing things. But tell us, Tristan and CeCe, who you guys are, where you come from.
CeCe, she's a speaker. She just told me to be eye candy. She's gonna be
okay. Is that what it? So we have the eyes. With his green eyes. Oh God,
girl.
But yeah, tell us
a little bit about us. We're native Estonians.
Yeah.
You don't meet too many of those.
No.
I guess we all get up and move around a little bit, but Houston has been good to us.
Yeah.
Tristan went off to A&M for school, and I stayed right here in at U of H. And we both actually were raised not too far from each other. We were in the same school district.
Okay.
We went to Eisenhower.
Okay.
Yeah. And I went to Nimitz High School in the Albany district. And after that, like I said, we went off to college. So we didn't actually meet until we got in college.
Okay.
We met through a program called Inroads.
Okay.
Some of our Estonians probably know about Inroads, but Inroads was an organization that helped minorities get jobs in corporate America.
Okay.
So I met him probably my second year in Inroads. He walked in the room, believe it or not, I approached him first.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
Look, when he walked in, let me tell you something. At that time, when you're in college, everybody think they the ish.
Yeah.
Did
he think he was, though?
That is why I approached him. When he
he
walked in the room,
he
was so different from all the other guys.
Okay.
He walked in smiling. He was approachable. He didn't seem cliquish, and there was a lot of cliques at that time.
Yeah.
Not to throw shade at the organization, but you know how this goes. When you're in college, everybody kind of gets around who they want to get around with. But this guy right here was very friendly and very social. So I walked up, I said, "How you doing? I'm CeCe." And he was like, "I'm Tristan." And that was it.
Okay.
So we remained friends.
Look at the way he looks at you. That's so cute. I'm about to go on Facebook. I got a million things to do. I got a million questions.
We remained friends throughout college. And what's funny is I had pledged that year, and I was kind of doing my thing, and he would try to reach out periodically, and sometimes I'll admit it, I ignored him. I don't know why.
Yeah.
We do the things we do.
Oh, yes.
And we
finish it, Tristan.
I'm going to give it to him. Dawn, you know how it is. You think you know somebody. You think you got it all figured out. He don't want nothing.
Yeah.
So around the time we got ready to graduate from college, he called me up and he said, "Hey, let me just take you out to dinner sometime."
Okay.
I was like, "All right, the sister gotta eat."
Okay.
I can go out and have a little dinner.
Hey, yes.
Yeah.
So he took me to, was it
Payway.
Okay.
that orange chicken booth.
And that's what got.
That's it.
And orange tea.
That was it.
Yeah.
Orange chicken.
But yeah, I mean, seriously. Okay, so, but what's interesting to me is that we see you, and you think you grew up like the Cosbys. Did y'all grow up like the Cosbys? Single parent homes, both of you.
Single parent homes.
Yeah,
single mothers.
Yeah.
Single mothers. I grew up in Acres Home. She grew up in Guns Point. And we just had strong.
You don't look really. Okay.
I know a lot of
You got a little hood in you though.
I'm
telling CeCe.
I'm trying to.
Is there a gun in that
She's
afro?
gonna shrink out that afro.
That's what I believe.
But not delivered.
I believe it.
One day you pull the bullet out of it.
Oh God.
So raised by single mothers, strong women of God. I like to tell people that I learned how to be a good husband by not having a father in my life. So
Really?
I positive images that we used to have back on TV. I was like, I want to be that to somebody. So my mindset in high school, I was dating for a wife. I wasn't looking to, date a lot of women. I think in my entire life I may have had 4 or 5 girlfriends.
Oh, wow.
So from high school through college.
So no thoughts, no black chinas?
You said no thoughts? No
thoughts.
thoughts.
No, okay. And then cause
I was not very thoughtful.
Oh, okay. You are so good at marketing. But Tristan, and this is interesting because a lot of men, and you know this, they'll date several women, but she'll be the one. But I'm gonna go around here and mess around over here and there. But she's the one, and then women tolerate that.
Yeah, I never had patience for that.
Okay. No, that's good. But Tristan, CeCe, tell us about your background.
Well, single parent home, only child. We were both only children as well. Mom always taught me that you don't have to look like everybody else and do everything like everyone else in order to have beauty. I wasn't your dime piece. I'll give you that. We got some pictures to prove it.
But you were a Tristan.
Well, and apparently to him, but it never deterred me. I was like him. I only dated probably a strong 2-3 relationships.
Okay.
3 relationships throughout high school and college, and it was just for me as well. I was always taught if you're going to date, do it with purpose.
Yes.
Don't just kill time.
Yeah.
And then also keep your legs closed. So Mom was very, very big on that as well.
Hold on. Record that. Say it again. I'm recording it. Say it again.
Mama said, keep your legs closed. She taught me, let's see how it goes, books before boys because boys bring babies.
Wow.
And that was something that I constantly shared with other females as well because it's easy to get sidetracked, especially in college.
Oh, it is. And when you're an adult.
When you're always, there's always a struggle there. The options are always plenty, especially if you go and do sorority stuff and all that fun stuff. So I did make it through college. I was fortunate to remain a virgin throughout that time, and I'm glad that I did. Very glad that I did. We can probably talk about that later on, but I was just taught that, present yourself friendly. Don't do all the extra stuff. I remember while we were dating, Tristan was like, look, you know what? I don't want to play the games.
Yeah.
If I want to call you, I'm going to call you.
Yeah.
If you want to call me. Just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. And that's really what we did in our dating. We kept it simple.
Somebody said, thank you so much, Nev. In today's society, basically, keep your legs closed.
Keep your legs closed.
Keep your legs closed. And not only that, for your health. But that's it. Yeah.
It's a lot going on now, especially now.
Because I'll be doing the AIDS walk on Saturday. Supporting Team Tiffany in her endeavors to keep our community alive.
Yeah.
But when you have a disease going around because you can't tell somebody to wrap it up, because you just can't control yourself. So I have to get involved and continue to help her spread that message. So, but let's talk about babies for a minute because you all have been married for 10 years, no children. CeCe, you touched on this at the anniversary party. Do you get judgments because, shouldn't y'all have kids? Is something wrong with the equipment? Seriously.
So it's funny how things progressed because when we first got married, I was 23, he was 24, and at first everybody thought we were getting married because I got pregnant. We got married early.
Okay.
So it's like, where the baby at?
Okay.
No babies. Of course we caught heat, but not more so me than him, of course. Every now and then somebody might come out the woodworks and say something, but after 10 years, you pretty much know, don't run up on this. We're not doing that. But honestly, before we got married, we had to talk and we said, okay, no more than 2. Okay. We looked up around about year 3. You good? Yeah, I'm good. Okay, I'll check back in with you year 5.
Okay.
Year 5 was, I think, the turning point. One day I just asked him out of the blue. I said, do you feel like you would have a more meaningful and fulfilled life being a father or being a philanthropic leader in the community? Like, do you want to cultivate a family, children, or do you want to cultivate a community? Because we were both very philanthropic in spirit. We already knew that. And he said, I believe that I would have more fulfillment in cultivating a community, being a philanthropic leader. And that was it. We had peace about it, never revisited it and saying, I wish, how come? I just was never that type of little girl growing up, I gotta have a baby by this age and be married by that age and do this and that. My prayer was always, Lord, just whatever you want me to do. Whatever that is, let's do it. Let's do it.
I think, and the message there, people, and Stacey says, it's your life. And I agree with that because so many times guys, okay, you have to get married. Then you have to have kids.
Yeah.
Everybody's married. Everybody don't want kids running around.
Right.
And it's okay.
And people think I'm strange.
Yeah.
You know, Dr. Don, you're not married. You need to have a baby. What am I going to do with a baby running around the studio? What kind of having a nanny raise the baby?
Yeah.
Or I'll do it. God will take care of that.
All that. And
But I think it's great you all are comfortable enough to know what you want. And you don't have to justify yourself to anybody.
You have to know that you can be a blessing to the world in other aspects of your life.
Absolutely.
So I get to dedicate my time, energy, and focusing on my wife and making my marriage good.
Yeah.
Which is a testimony to the community, which hopefully ministers to others.
Yeah.
And how to help their marriage as well. So.
Yeah, because y'all don't miss a beat. I don't see y'all missing a beat. Y'all have to have a baby in the middle of the restaurant trips. Y'all are living it up. I see nothing wrong with that.
Let me
I
add
love
this
it.
point. For people who are feeling like this or they feel the need to share this with someone told me one day, it's really selfish that you don't want to have children.
Oh, goodness.
And I said,
Really?
First of all, you got to be careful what you tell people because you don't know if I can't have children.
Absolutely.
Number two, I said, you do know that there are people having children for selfish reasons.
To keep a man.
To keep a man,
Yeah.
or somebody, or an image,
Or
or
an
someone to
very
take
true.
care of me when I get older. All of those reasons are quote unquote selfish. So be careful how you talk to people who decide that that's just not what they want to do.
Absolutely. I love that. No, because I'm sure you've had questions about that.
Sure.
And but let's move on. We got this topic, and I want to thank my social media people, my Twitter people, because this is something, and we talked a little bit about this before the show came on. Revealing too much about your spouse, intimate details, sexual details with your friends about how good your man is or how good your wife is in bed. Boundaries, people. Sharing too much information. I want to start with you, Tristan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe that when that.
And I'm not asking how good CeCe is. I don't care. I'm just like, yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you were.
It's been 10 years. Now.
You know what to keep him. That's another show. How she kept it. But that's another thing. Okay. Yeah.
There's a reason that naturally when that special time or moment comes that you close his door.
Absolutely.
And I believe that that's a symbol that everything should stay in the bedroom and should not leave those four walls wherever you particularly decide to do those acts at. But we're firm believers that stays in the house and that other married couples, it should stay at home because you never know what leaks out there.
Absolutely.
They spark the wrong ideas, may be spread because we're in a society where people like to gossip. So you never know what word can be spread and how it may impact someone else and how it can open up doors for the enemy to come into your life and your marriage. So.
That's it.
Amen to that. CeCe,
That's
do you get women? I assume you get women because women we are so quick to share with each other more so I think than men. But you being a blogger and talking to women, do you get those questions?
I honestly have never gotten those questions, probably because people pretty much know where I stand.
Right.
You can kind of tell what a person's going to talk about and what a person's not going to talk about. So you have to just kind of tread lightly on those things. But I have always told women, you have to be careful about sharing a lot of things, even when you're giving a lot of praise about your husband. I have the best husband in the world. Oh my gosh, she did this for me and he bought that for me. Because let me tell you something. You can have a bad man that goes good and a good man that goes bad.
That's right.
Easily. Any day. You always have to stay prayed up over your relationship. And honestly, like he said, once you open that vault up, good people see it and bad people see it and the enemy sees it too. So you have to be very careful about what you decide to put out there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put any of it out there.
I wouldn't either. It amazes me how people share things like that. And I'm like, you sharing that with me? And I don't even, but...
look at reality TV.
Yes.
In addition to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like what you said about the door closing. Tristan is so, and I hope you all are paying attention. And thank you all for weighing in. But y'all are just like-minded spirits. Seriously, kindred spirits. But you all did marriage counseling before. Some people have asked Dr. Dawn, should I do marriage counseling? We've been living together. We love each other.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about that.
Yeah.
We did all premarital.
The Trinity,
So we did 3 premarital counselings. We
Okay.
did one required by the pastor that was officiating our wedding. We did one through Lakewood. That's the church we were visiting at the time. We're not even Catholic, but we went to a Catholic one called Engage Encounters because we heard it was so intense. And it was a 2 or 3 day event where you go to the woods in a cabin and you really immerse in what is marriage and what are your goals and things of that nature. So We went through 3 before we got married just to make sure, because I only want to do this one time.
God is the foundation, right? Yeah. Right. So if CeCe is green and pretty as, and this is a message, ladies, as pretty as his eyes were, as fine and as he was, if he said, I don't believe in God, I'm this religion, well, it'll work out later. We'll deal with that later. Would you have walked away, or you?
I would have had to. It's one of my foundational things. You've probably heard me say you have to set the right foundation, and then you can add all the cosmetics later.
Right.
Okay. And so when you're setting that foundation, there's just some core things that you have to stick to. For me, that's one of my core things. As a believer, I believe you can't be unequally yoked. That brings so much more. I think that we're very short-sighted when we say, we'll just deal with that later. Because what comes very quickly are children, and then you got to decide how to it's way too much.
Daddy's going to church, mama's not. Yeah. Daddy's watching TV, mama's the man is the head of the household. And so, he really is. And ladies, we'll talk about submission later, because that's such an ugly word to so many people.
That's a beautiful word.
It is a beautiful word. Men have to be submissive as well. Let's talk about it now. Being submissive, CeCe.
Say that.
Yeah.
So, y'all know how I like
and you had to slap the desk.
I'm going to advocate for my men out here. I'm going to advocate for my good, godly men who genuinely are trying to do the right thing and trying to lead their families in the right direction. I believe that submission is not slavery whenever it's done the right way. Let's clear this up now. Submission does not mean, okay, whatever you say. Okay,
like coming to America. Whatever you like.
Yeah.
You weren't like that.
We're not barking. We're not barking today. We're not doing it.
Okay.
It is simply being able to say, he's saying one way, I'm saying another way. If I can express how I feel about this, and he still respects how I feel, but even if he decides to go in a different direction, I have to support him in that. And pray and trust that God will honor the direction. Even though I may not think it's the right thing to do, pray and ask that God will honor that and will honor my obedience in following in that direction. And there have been many, many, many times throughout our marriage where we saw 2 different perspectives on it.
But you followed him as your husband?
But I followed him as my husband because, number one, I wouldn't have married him if I didn't trust him. That's number one. And I'm very big on that trust situation. Yeah. So I believe that if you watch how a man is treating you throughout the dating process, how he handles his affairs, once you decide to marry him, you hopefully should be able to fall under his guidance.
But men are submissive too as well, Tristan. Talk about that. It's not just one-sided. You're submissive to CeCe.
Absolutely. The Bible says, just like Jesus submits, to the church, submitting to your wife, meaning that I have to make sure that my wife is good, my wife is happy, and that I'm respecting and validating her opinions and thoughts. So, yes, I am the head of the household and the leader, but at the same time, I have to respect her opinion, her feedback, and her input on the guidance of our relationship, business decisions, personal decisions, finances, and things of that nature. So, as the head of the household, I am supposed to take the lead, but at the same time, I have to respect her opinion. And if you have an open line of communication, it becomes easier to have that type of joint submission.
Okay. I tell you, people, and you can't make this stuff up. What was the lowest point in your marriage? What was the low point?
When you ran to your mama's house?
Oh, say it. We're going to go ahead and testify on that because that's going to set somebody free real quick. So, in real life, I had one pure meltdown in our marriage, and it happened year 1.
Roughest year.
Yeah, it was the roughest year. Okay. It was the most rewarding.
It was year 1.
Yeah, but it was
that's
year
reality.
That's
okay.
reality.
Yeah.
So if you're in year 1 right now, hold on. Hold on. There's still hope.
Okay.
But that year 1 is real. We got into an argument, a very heated argument, and I kind of just left. Okay. We're in Katy. My mom was out in Humble.
Yeah.
Mom was like, come on.
Oh.
Your mom will always be there.
Oh, yeah.
Mom was like, come on. And when I got there, we didn't talk about it.
Okay.
We didn't talk about it. She respected that. She didn't even ask what happened. Okay. It was just I needed to get away. Yeah. For a hot minute. And unfortunately, my year 1 was like, look, I don't really have to be there, so I can, go back to my mama just as quickly as And I would not encourage any woman to adopt that mindset. Yeah. But that was my mindset because I had a very close relationship with my mom, and I knew that the door was always open. Yeah. I didn't want a divorce at any point in time.
Right.
I never wanted a divorce, but I almost at times felt suffocated because literally when you go from being an only child and pretty much getting
whatever you want,
whatever you want.
And your mama's baby. I've seen your mom.
You
Yes,
mama.
she loves you.
Come on.
Yes.
So when you leave that setup to a very much so man's man who loves you just the same, but it ain't going down like that, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. And so I left, went to her home, got some rest. The next morning he called me. He was like, let's meet up at church. I got in the car, we met up at church. And he was like, let's not handle it like that again. You know? And I'm like, yes, Daddy, we won't handle it like that.
Daddy,
you know?
that's it. And I love that you shared that last time because that. Oh, and people are liking that, by the way, Daddy. But look at y'all. Only she can call him Daddy.
Only her.
Yeah, only her. But yeah. Oh, people like that. Okay, Daddy. Oh.
Better get you a nickname.
No alternative facts on that.
No alternative facts. That's the truth. But I tell you. But let's start. Thank you all for.
Real quick, can I interrupt?
Oh, of course. Say whatever you want.
Important note you want to take out of that is when you do have those issues in your marriage, fights, arguments, because they will occur.
Yes.
Nobody's perfect.
Oh, absolutely.
We had one the night before our anniversary.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But you don't want to
But that's
share
real.
that. You don't want to share that with your friends and family because they don't interact with you every day. So all they get to hear is the outskirts, like, oh, they upset me. Oh, they tripping. And so now they can just develop this negative connotation of you in their mind. And so then next thing you know, you have enemies because of that. So anytime you have issues, be sure that you keep it to yourself. Don't even share it with your family because you never know how life may turn about. You don't want someone to be against you because all you share is negative.
Yeah.
Friends and family, if you can protect, this is literally how you have to treat this. You literally have to protect your marriage. Your friends and family are going to always want to see you happy, and he's going to always be that no good scoundrel that made you mad that time. No matter how many times you can say, I forgave him, girl, I moved on, whatever it is, don't even open it.
I like that because I think that's very true, but we have to move on to another topic.
All right.
And like we talked about before, thank you all so much for the support. Affairs don't start in the bedroom, right?
Right.
So let me give you a little scenario, okay, Tristan, because, and I just have to put this out there. So let's say, Dr. Dawn, you've known me for years, okay? I just signed up for some life insurance, had a baby, got married, okay? He didn't have it, but this is a fantasy because he don't have himself together. But anyway, I say, okay, it's 8 o'clock. I'm like, hey, Tristan, what's going on? We signed this deal. Thank you so much for the help. Or I'm single.
Okay.
Yeah, so my life insurance for me. No baby.
No
But 8 o'clock, and you mentioned, I said, well, how's CeCe? You said, she's working late tonight. I'd be like, well, let's go get some drinks. Let's go get some drinks. Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Because Dr. Dawn is not meaning anything by it. I'm just Dr. Dawn. Okay, well, let's go get some drinks. Let's go just talk and chat it up. And let me see what's going on.
These green eyes have seen many things.
Okay.
I know it's coming.
Well, how do you know? Dr. Dawn's not like that.
That's not word on the street, though. I'm just joking.
Oh, I love it. Jennifer says, always protect your marriage. That is so true. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, and part of this is protecting the marriage. Yeah, go ahead, Tristan.
You have to be wise and avoid situations where things can happen.
Yes, absolutely.
It could be innocent, but you never know. So if you're in a position where you're in your office, you close the deal, and you go home, there's not really much opportunity.
Absolutely.
But if I'm at a bar or at a restaurant having drinks, libations, and then guards get let down, then that allows the enemy to move in. So I like to avoid those opportunities and situations as much as I can. So I would say no to that. Yeah.
And I brought up that because affairs don't start in the bedroom. And there's a lot of things. And look, I'm just saying Dr. Dawn. Dr. Dawn would never even say that because I got enough. I don't even do that with married men. We're not going to go to drinks. We may get some coffee, lunch, if we happen to, But I'll be like, how's CeCe? Let's all go and hang out.
Absolutely.
What's a good time we all can hang out?
Right.
But let's talk about boundaries in marriages. And I want to start with you, CeCe, because you have married people who are friends with single people. But when you get married, there has to be some boundaries.
Absolutely.
Can't be the same relationship.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm not one to say that you can't have any female friends.
Right.
That's not realistic.
Yeah.
Especially with what we do and how we decide to live our lifestyle.
I just can't wear my gym shorts around.
I'm glad he brought that up. He's telling the truth. In real life, when we were dating, a friend of his, and she's a dear friend, she's great.
Yeah.
But she wasn't comfortable with what she had on. She was like, "Can I borrow your gym shorts?" And I saw that, and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna have to address that a little bit."
Wait a minute. So a friend.
We had a
little
dinner
gathering.
at my house. she came from work and had her skirt on, but we were
Right.
sitting on the floor, things like, hey, can I borrow some shorts?
Okay.
And so I gave her a pair of my gym shorts for her to be comfortable, and then that did not sit well with CeCe.
Now, but why wouldn't you say, CeCe, let me borrow something?
Well,
Tristan,
we weren't married at the time, and we weren't married.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were at his place. You know, Tristan and I didn't live together.
Yeah.
So at that time, it was over at his place.
Yeah.
The whole situation. So anyway, I addressed it later, but that was the end that he heard of that. I'm not that jealous type.
We're gonna bring that up 10 years later.
And he brought it up, as you can see.
Yeah.
But
Oh my God.
I have always taken the philosophy with him. You know, I'm not going to be everywhere seeing you do every single thing. So I expect you, and not only that, I expect you to have a few admirers here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But I expect you to also handle that.
Absolutely.
So I never even have to hear, smell, taste, touch any of it.
Yeah.
Because if I have to get involved, it's different.
Yeah.
And he expects me to do the same thing on this end. So it's not to say, don't nobody better be looking at you or talking to you and stuff. That's foolish. Let's
Who has
not
that
play
kind
that.
of time?
Yeah, not only that, but everybody likes, that's why I like him, because he is attractive. Someone else is going to find him attractive
Yeah.
too.
But when you act on it, come on. But
That's
you don't
different.
even put yourselves in those situations.
That's right.
Well, you have to also have trust, because she goes out in the dance community every week.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't go dance.
Yeah.
So that's trust and faith.
Trust is
Absolute trust and faith. Yeah. I like that. And I think that's the word of the day. Thank you very much, Lakeisha. She says, I've never been married, and I'm hoping, but this is informative for a person like me who needs to hear this helpful info. Good
Keep hope
stuff.
alive.
Keep hope alive. Y'all are bringing people together. But this is another one. Someone had a question on Twitter, and I'll just say that. Strip clubs, pornography, some spouses are good. I had a friend, she's now divorced, but her husband would go to strip clubs, and she was okay with it. Yes or no?
CeCe's not okay.
But yeah.
And I really don't enjoy them. I mean, you know, it's a great concept, but at the same time, that's kind of disrespectful to my wife to go admire a naked woman and then come home to her. So that's not really our
But you've heard of that though.
Oh,
Women
we
who
hear
are
people
like,
going with
oh,
their
yeah.
spouses. I mean, some couples, honestly, what works for one couple may not work for the other. So I'm not one to pass and say, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. But what I will say is you have to be very, very careful about what you let into your marriage. What starts off innocently.
Right.
What starts off very innocently. Even those who decide to have open relationships, because we know of those who do have open relationships and they don't mind it.
Yes.
But I've also
But
seen
I think
it.
they do. I
You think so, low-key?
I think some know who they married. And they're like, oh, I'm okay with it. No woman can be okay with shit.
In real life.
Not in real life. That's just Dr. Don's opinion. That ain't CeCe and Tristan. I just put that out there. Go ahead, CeCe. That's just Dr. Don's.
I think that's real. Even though they say that they are okay for whatever
you can't
reasons, you really realistically cannot be. You have to be careful what you allow in. That's all I can say on that.
Okay.
Sincerely.
Tristan, they say they can't hear you very well. I guess they want to make sure they hear you. Okay.
All the way?
Now you're yes. They want to see those green. She said here, not see the green eyes. So she's she's married as well. Thank you, Jennifer. So we got you. Yes, thank you for that. CeCe, we can hear you loud and clear, honey. She's a talker. I love that. But I like that because you do have couples who and open works for them. They're okay with an open marriage. Dr. Don personally would not be okay with it.
Well, the sentence.
Yeah, and we got some. You got some lights on that. But this is a funny one. Seeing potential in him or her. This is a brother who wrote in and said this comment. We're not perfect when you meet us. Seeing potential in a man. Was Tristan the boss talk you see right now? How?
Was not.
Yeah, you saw the potential though.
He was the true potential, and that's what I try to also emphasize. You women, we have to start seeing potential. We have to start seeing beyond what's just in front of us, the lack of, okay?
Yeah.
When I met Tristan was obviously trying to do the right thing. He had an internship. I saw the qualities. He was loyal. He was consistent. He went to work on time. He wasn't flipping jobs every time I looked up. You know, there were potential things that were there that I was able to tap into and say, you know what? That's the making of a great guy. So I'm okay living in this little Cheerio box for a while and, you know, doing what we have to do to make it work.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what's missing right now. We feel like we have arrived because we're doing a lot more than what our parents did in their 30s and 40s.
Right.
But there's so much more to be done. Absolutely. So instead of saying, you know, well, he doesn't have this, he ain't got that, and I got this, and I got that, you got to start looking at potential. That's where we are at this point in time still.
Yeah. Tristan, you wanted to say something?
I was going to say, when I talk to my single female friends, the commonality I hear is they're unwilling to compromise or sacrifice those requisites got to be 6'2", 6-pack, drive this, work here, have this kind of income, live on this side of town. So I would say, people are always against compromise, but I think you have to choose your battles, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that 5'10" brother can give you everything you need versus that 6'1". Maybe you don't need to wear heels everywhere.
Come on.
I mean, so just little things like that.
Wow. You know why I think you all's marriage has lasted so long? Many years counting. Hopefully I'll be at the 50 years celebration in my wheelchair with my oxygen tank. But with my prune juice, not wine. But I think it's because it's God-centered. Yeah, God-centered. But CeCe, how many times have you said, wait? Because we have, as women, there is so much pressure. I have to get married. I'm 30. I don't have a husband. I feel like a failure. I'm 40. I haven't gotten married. CeCe got married at 23. Why am I 40 and still don't have a husband? And these are good women who feel insecure.
Sure.
Yeah. Talk to those women who are listening.
I believe that it's really sincerely time for us to get back to the basics on some things.
Taking back to basics.
Yes.
I believe that we think that our main purpose down here as women is to get married, have children, and live happily ever after. But the truth of the matter is that all of us are not going to get married. All of us are not going to have children.
Right.
But that does not mean that we lack purpose.
Right.
We really, really have to be intentional about feeding ourselves the positive aspect of singlehood of where we are.
Yeah.
Where we are right now as a single woman is I have more time to be purposeful. When you get married and start having children, it is literally all about
the babies
and the husband. I know what you see on Facebook, and marriage is a beautiful thing, but what you're not seeing is all the stuff that goes into making of a family. Right. So it has its time, its place, its season, but I'm one to say that whatever season you are in, learn contentment.
Yes.
And try to really focus on the purpose that you're in right now, because there is somebody who needs you right where you are right now. Absolutely. In your singlehood. And the other thing that I've learned is when you take I'll give you a good example. Okay. You know when you lose your keys?
Oh, yeah.
And you tearing up the club looking for them keys, and when you finally say, you know what, I'm done. I'm not going to look for these keys no more. And all of a sudden them keys pop up. I believe that's how God does with us sometimes.
Oh my God.
Okay? I believe that as we're searching, it's trying to find where he at. Let me be cute. Where he at? You ain't find them. But the minute you take your focus and put it on what God has you to put it on, it'll somehow magically appear. When you look in your craziest, you ain't got on no makeup, you looking out. I'm telling you, I genuinely believe that that's how he works things. I've seen him do it many, many times.
And let me tell you, as a single woman, I used to wrestle with, God, why can't I find it? Well, Lord, why am I not married? Why is Dr. Dawn, not because I know I'm a quality chick. I know I'm a good woman. So why am I not married? And God was like, you worried about the wrong thing. I am preparing you for your purpose. Are you really ready for a husband now, Dr. Dawn? Because what you got to do is, are you going to make your husband that priority?
Come on.
I cannot ignore my husband. Would I want a man just carrying my bag and I'm doing it? No. So, and a baby? Are you sure, Dawn? So let me prepare you, and if I never get married, I'm okay with that.
Yes.
And I have to be okay with that.
Yes.
So I think we as women, and men, you have men too, and you see Facebook, I'm ready for a wife. I'm ready for a husband. You put it out there on Facebook. Get on your knees and pray to God about that. And get yourself prepared for marriage.
Get yourself prepared.
Mark Zuckerberg isn't going to get it for you.
and you got to be, that poking, is that still existing?
Yeah.
Because I think, Tristan, you got poked a few times. You put it out there. Yeah, I don't like it either. And I'm like, this just doesn't even make sense. Mark Zuckerberg, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are. Get rid of that poke. Okay, let's talk about, this is a question I got through Twitter this week. Dr. Dawn, the best way to handle disagreements for married couples. And a married couple, who better to answer that?
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
All right. So, one thing that we implemented from one of the three premarital counselors is out of love.
Yes.
You heard me mention this at the dinner. So, she has something with me. I'm leaving my shoes all laying around the house, leaving my clothes downstairs. Instead of coming to me and saying, why don't you pick up your clothes and go hang them up? Tristan, out of love, I have something I want to talk to you about. And so what that does for me is I'm supposed to woo-sa.
Is that what you do?
That's what I do, woo-sa. No, she's going to say something I probably don't want to hear, but I need to listen and I clap back. So, Tristan, I need you to start taking your shoes upstairs and hang your clothes up because I like my living rooms clean.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I hear you saying is I need to go hang my clothes, put my shoes up.
Yeah.
Okay, boom, and that's it.
Yeah.
And now I can retort back and say, well, out of love, I wish you would wash the dishes more.
Okay.
And she can't clap back because normally I wish you go hang your shoes. Well, I wish you wash the dishes.
Yes.
It avoids that. It gets you in the mindset to say, okay, I'm doing something that's bothering my spouse.
Yeah.
So let me hear them out and then trying to find a solution. Because
Yeah.
I may just say, well, you know what? I may not be able to get my shoes up every day, but how about I do it Monday and Friday?
Yeah.
So that's how that helps us out.
It really sincerely works, but the key to making it work is that you have to stick to it. You cannot, the minute you violate out of love and you clap back, it's no longer a safe word.
Okay. I think that's very good. I think the problem is, guys, a lot of people don't do marriage counseling, or I've heard people, because I suggest marriage counseling to everyone, because that pastor or that marriage counselor who is certified and credible
Come on.
and who is reputable will ask you those questions you never even thought of.
That's right.
All y'all are thinking about is good sex every day and all this fantasy stuff, when the pastor's going to ask you some questions that you didn't even think about.
That's real.
So I really suggest that, because
counsel.
now what do you all think about not taking your husband's last name? CeCe, you have women, especially women who are professionals, bloggers,
Sure.
they've established themselves,
Sure.
or I'm going to hyphenate it.
Yeah.
Sure. For the time and place that I was in, I didn't own $2, so it was okay.
Yeah.
I didn't mind taking Tristan's last name.
Yeah.
I thought CeCe Sutton kind of had a ring to it, so
Yeah.
I was cool with it.
It
But
is a
I
good name,
do understand those who have decided to at least hyphenate it. I'm not a fan of just leaving it completely off. It adds too much confusion, not only for you, but the children and everybody else.
But I've had women say, well, I have to change all this paperwork.
But
Yeah.
but in that, I mean, there are advantages of doing that. You all know about tax breaks and all that other
Yeah.
stuff. But you have to do things in decency and order, and don't worry about the inconvenience, because it's really not that much big of an inconvenience. Dr. Don, if you go to Dr. Paul, Don Paul, Chenevier or whatever,
Yeah.
I still know it's you.
Right.
You can still use Dr. Don Paul on your stuff, but legally, on the paperwork, in front of people, this is Chenevier. This is, you have to honor your husband in that. I mean,
But I think husbands, Tristan, you want your wife to have your last name. Men, when they marry a woman, you are one. You're no longer, right?
Because it's, going back to the Bible, you leave your parents and now you become one. So, to me, it's another form of submission. You're saying that I am your husband, I am your leader, and if you choose not to take my name, so then what else will you not take from me? So you not take my leadership, my advice, my guidance, and things like that. So,
But I'll take the money. Yeah.
right.
But I don't want the advice. Just give me the money, daddy. Yeah, right? That's how a lot of people feel.
Sincerely.
Yeah.
And when you really get to the root cause of it, which I'm sure you're going to bring this up later, it really boils down to kind of a selfishness if you really look at it. Because it's like it's going to be too much of an inconvenience. No, it's not that much of an inconvenience. Hyphenate it even if you have to.
Yeah. But the sister who was giving her story about you guys, she said her husband didn't even want her to hyphenate it. And it's like, no, all or.
yeah.
But I think at least in the beginning, but see, that's why you have to communicate. He was like, look,
Absolutely.
because it's better than him being salty later.
Absolutely.
So just,
Talk
so,
about that.
Yeah. This is another one. Living together before marriage. I've had couples say they did live together before marriage. It's helped them know each other better. And then I've had some say they wish they hadn't have done it before marriage. What is y'all's take on that?
Well, we did not. That's the way we were brought up. Our parents were like, that's not going to happen, even though we were out on our own making our own money.
Grown.
We're still grown.
But it's respect.
It's respect.
My friends always say, hey, man, you need to test drive the car before you buy it. We were just blessed because we went into this union on faith that it was God's doing, and that He would make it work, and He has. We've not spent one night together, and it's been a blessing.
Yeah.
It really has. And you have to be careful. See, the enemy knows how to say all these things and these cliche things in order to make it, it's okay. But I'm telling you, I've seen some women allow them to move in. They've been engaged for 10 years. Come on. That is not the fastest way to the
Engaged
altar.
for how long?
10
Power of
years.
And I've known someone too, but he bought me a Gucci, but you still ain't got a ring.
Let's be real.
Wait, what's going on?
In a man's mind, see, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I've seen this play out as well. In a woman's mind, we move in together, that means we're one. We're just about doing we're supposed to be living the married lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
But when he gets ready to deuces up out of there for the night, about to go wherever he's about to go, and you're like, where are you going? And he's like, I don't need to tell you where I'm going.
Right.
I don't need to do all of that. Come on.
Yeah.
It causes more confusion.
You've lost your power.
Lost
once you move
power.
in, you cannot, because you would be surprised at the people. Dr. Don, he hasn't proposed yet, but you've been living for 5 years. He's been getting it for free. So what are we doing? You can't fault him for that. That's your fault.
That's real.
Give him a permanent free look period.
5 years later, you want to say, why aren't we engaged?
There it is.
Come on, ladies and men.
Marriage benefits without the obligation.
Yes. Oh my goodness. What would you say is the true way to a man's heart, CeCe? Is it in the kitchen? Is it in the bedroom? What is it?
Some of you all have heard of the love languages, the 5 love languages.
You always talk about that.
I'm very big on that because I think it's important to know, just like every woman is different in what she needs, every man is different as well. For my man, it's touch. So if he's feeling all fighty and ready to I can just touch him.
Yeah.
Or I can touch his head.
Yeah.
And all of that just
He likes it now. Look at that.
Do
I need to leave?
He calls me the beast tamer.
Oh.
And I take that because I know what he needs. When he comes home at the end of the day, I know the first thing he needs is the hand to go on top of the head, to go down the back. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
That is his de-escalation. That is his way to his heart. Of course, food, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But what really matters for a man who is an entrepreneur and who is juggling so much is touch for him.
I like that.
And hers is words of affirmation. So encouraging her, validating her feelings, letting her know that I love her and I support her, and that I appreciate all the things she does around the house. She keeps the house clean, takes care of home.
You mentioned that several times. She has got to have the house clean. Right?
Well,
I can tell.
That's her ministry. I'm fortunate where I can focus on running my business and doing everything I'm in the community in. She takes care of home. So.
But do you really want a nasty woman? I mean,
come on, and they're out there.
I tell men, when you see it, if you go to a woman's house and it's nasty, and men are nasty kind of, y'all just don't pick stuff up. So would you really want a woman? You should want a woman that keeps a house clean.
In real life?
Oh my goodness, Lord have mercy. Wow. This is something that I think is very important. Let's talk about this, CeCe. First you and then you, Tristan. Keeping yourself up after the marriage. Keeping yourself up. You might not stay the size 5 you were when he met you, but don't start to get sloppy. Still keep it tight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's so very, very critical. And it is a challenge. It was a challenge for us, and we didn't even have any kids, so I can't even imagine what it's like when you do add children into the equation. But at the same time, it's paramount. Men are visual, bottom line. We can see a 4'3" man with 5 teeth and still see the swag and all that other stuff. They can't see that. They're very visual. But not only for them, but for ourselves. There's a lot that goes into how we look. We know that. We're always being our biggest critics anyway. But it's very important that we try very early to adopt healthy habits, healthy eating, healthy lifestyle. I mean, it's easy to get away from it. We've ventured away from it, and as you all know now, we're trying to get back to that. Shout out to Joy Diggs.
Shout out to Joy.
Joy has been getting us back into shape. But those first few years, you pick up those pounds. You can give me all this muscle. But it's very important. I can't even begin to tell you. And just for me as a woman, when I see that I can keep up with myself and get these little dots off my face and stuff, it does something for our own self-esteem. I think what happens is we pick up this weight, we start looking all shabby, and then we start getting mad at him. Okay? Like he done something, Everything is irritating us now, but it's because we're not happy with who we are now for what we've become. So I challenge every woman who's in that space to take a step back and really write down, if you need to, what it is that's really bothering you. And I guarantee you it's probably something what's going on with us.
But
I like that. Yeah.
You want to make sure that if your spouse does, gain weight or not the same physical appearance as when you married them, be supportive, because we got married, I gained a lot of weight, and I'm just now 10 years in on the downside of that, losing the weight, but my wife has supported me the entire time. So don't let image or aesthetics ruin a good relationship just because they don't have the flat stomach they used to.
Looks fade. Looks fade, people.
And we have friends looking for 6 packs and carrying on, but come on.
We've talked about that. Do you want a trophy or do you want a helpmate? That's to you men. Big breasts only gonna last so long, and I could start talking about the White House, but I'm not gonna go to Ivanka. She's read to the kids. I know y'all saw that, but you've got to be more than just a pretty face. So let me, and if that's not example enough for you, I don't know what is. But anyway, that's Dr. Don. Tristan, I know he doesn't talk politics. I have to say that. But what would you say your advice is to married people? Married people, single people, but somebody has a question. They said, how do you know that person is the one? That's a very good question. How do you know they're the one?
That's good.
How did you know Tristan was the one?
I will be very candid with you.
Okay.
I had peace. I had peace. My motto is follow peace. Everything is a risk in life. You're taking risks every day. Every time you get in your car and turn it on, you have peace and faith that you're going to make it to your destination.
Wow.
I had peace that based upon the foundation, things I had laid out, he checked off on those things.
Wow.
Was he perfect? No. But he met these core things.
Yes.
And God gave me peace about it.
Wow. So. Tristan, how did you know she was the one?
To me, I heard from God. You know, like I said, back in high school, I was dating before marriage. And she met the checklist. You know, Christian, was not in them streets. Didn't have a football roster of ex-boyfriends, you know.
Not football roster.
A whole team, you know.
Or look, have you ever had conversations? Yeah, my buddy, my homeboy. Oh, I dated him. You know, you talking to a chick and she done dated 3 or 4 of your friends. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah. But that's the truth. Go ahead, Tristan. Yes.
I just met the checklist. You know, I found her attractive, woman of God, good with her family, supportive, and had a good sense of humor, and really just had open communication. What really was important is allowed me to be myself.
Yes.
You know, when we first dated, I was like, look, I'm gonna call you probably every day or text you, but I don't want you thinking I'm thirsty. And that's what really trips me out. If we were supposed to date someone that we like and like to communicate with, but if I like to communicate with you every day, then why would I want to be perceived as thirsty? I generally don't call them like 5 or 10 times a day, but you know, so that's just how I knew.
Yeah.
And I like how you all look at each other. No, seriously. Yeah. There's so much love here. I just feel it. It's rubbing off on me. You feel it?
I think she just making sure nothing's in my nose.
A booger. Oh, is that it? A booger?
So horrible.
We support each other.
Suge Knight, honey. Suge Knight, Daddy, whatever you want to call. What's your nickname for CeCe? This ain't the hot spot yet, but what is it?
My little bird. She always
really?
flapping around doing something.
Oh, okay.
And now she has this nice nest on top of it.
Cool hair. And shout out to Charlie Brownskin, because she was like, who always listens to the show, and she said, oh, he's married to the chick with the cool hair.
Oh.
Yes. CeCe does have some very, very cool hair. Before we get into these hot spot questions that I wanted to ask you in Dr. Don's Q&A, what is your just love advice? Your secret to love, secret to marriage, whatever you want to say to empower the people in love.
I believe my secret to love is understand that marriage is probably one of the most selfless things you can commit to, besides raising a child, as we all know.
Yes.
I think that a lot of times people spend more time preparing a wedding than actually preparing for
we all said that.
marriage.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have to understand that there is no room for selfishness in a marriage. And when you think about the many reasons why people divorce, if you look at the root cause of it, a lot of times they're deeply rooted in selfishness. So you have to start praying now. If you're a selfish person, now's the time to start saying, Lord, to help me in that area. And how can I start doing that? Maybe I can start volunteering my time. Maybe it doesn't have to be all about me. Maybe, I can just spend some time with someone who really needs me. Whatever it is, start doing good habits now, because marriage is going to really stretch you.
I had to be silent on that. Yeah. Tristan, what is your secret to love and just advice to pour into the people?
When you're looking for a spouse, look for someone that you actually enjoy being with, and that you can foresee yourself spending the next 4, 5, 6 decades with every day. And even if they have flaws, make them to the point where you can overlook those or help them work on them. But really for us, it's the laughter. I think that's what gives us love. We can, through ups and downs, we can laugh at each other, with each other, at each other. So really the jokes and the comedy in our relationship is, I think, what's helped sustain us for 10 years.
Because there will be downs,
Yeah.
and I think you all are very honest about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we see Tristan and CeCe having a good time on the boat, Galveston, celebrating the anniversary. But the truth is, like you said earlier, no couple is perfect.
No.
Every couple has their share of difficulties, problems, challenges, but it's how you get through it.
That's it.
And God is the center of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that really resonates with me because, again, all of us have the challenge.
Yeah.
You have to be prepared. You have to have your plan and how you're going to attack these challenges.
Absolutely.
Because they will come.
Yeah.
Because if you're having a bad day and you've been living by yourself for 10 years and then you see his socks on the floor and and start to have a panic attack. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, that's very true. Where can we find you? No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, but you also got to look at what's the purpose of the marriage. So, get with someone that you want to see happy.
Yes.
So, if you make me upset, okay, that's for temporary, but this is for eternity. So, I want to ultimately make sure that you're happy. So, I need to figure out what I did wrong, what you did wrong, and how we can come back to work on that. Because, your boss at work may upset you, but you're not going to just quit right away. You'll figure out some way. You go to HR, work out a solution. So
You ain't gonna curse them out.
you're not going to curse your boss out.
So HR is
curse your husband out as
Jesus
well.
in this case. HR is Jesus. And then go to Jesus, pray
Go to
about
Jesus,
it. Pray for that husband and wife.
Just hope he don't write you up.
Yeah. Before you write them divorce papers up. But anyway, give us your contact information, Tristan.
Okay, so
Or CeCe.
jointly you can find us on Facebook, Tristan and CeCe, Tristen,
Yeah.
and CeCe. Individually, you can find me at facebook.com/Tristan. E is in Edward Sutton, Tristan E. Sutton, and CeCe.
And you can find me at Simply CeCe Live. That's SIMPLY CC and then live.
And on Instagram as well.
Yes, on
Also
Instagram.
CeCe.
Yeah. And I'm on Simply CeCe Live. And I'm sorry, Facebook is Simply CeCe, but Instagram is Simply CeCe Live. So you'll just find me Simply.
I'm sure
Look at the
y'all
girl.
post all the links.
Look for the girl with the big hair.
Yeah.
Good afro. And her and her husband. Where y'all eating brunch this Sunday? That's a
Where we go? What do y'all recommend? Somebody type some recommendations.
Yeah.
Where we should
Look,
go
What's
to
your
brunch.
favorite restaurant? Your
What
favorite
do you
brunch
recommend?
That is,
restaurant?
I like that. Yeah, but it's on y'all if y'all suggest.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
that's all I'm saying. Are y'all ready for the hot spot game?
Sure.
Okay. And I won't make it too hot, but I will make it hot.
Look
I
around.
want to know. Tristan, I'm in charge over here. Don't worry about it. I'm not submissive to you. And here, Dr. John is there. I'm single right now. But look.
Free agent, all right.
I'm a free no, but look, I want to know, Tristan, from you.
Mhm.
What is your favorite physical feature on CeCe?
Ooh-wee.
What is it that just is your favorite physical feature? That's like my baby.
When I look at her, I love her dimples.
Okay.
I love her dimples.
Cute.
Yeah, that's what does it for me.
CeCe?
And that's the PG answer.
Yes, it
Y'all,
is.
you gotta know that.
But see, look, I mean, some things are private.
That's it is.
Okay.
The door's closed.
Yeah.
For me, it's going to be his broad back. He has a very broad, like, I love
Okay.
looking at this man from behind. He's just very,
Should.
should. We call him should.
Should?
Yes.
Yeah.
We call him should, but he's just a very, I've always been into football stature kind of guys.
Okay.
Not too much on the basketball player side. And he just really meets that for me. Very broad shouldered.
Okay.
Tell us, don't skip the weight room.
Okay. I like that. Now, this is a question that I did get from Twitter. This is a good question. What's that one thing that, Tristan, if you didn't love CeCe, that you'd be like, ugh, if she doesn't, after 10 years, she's still doing it. Ain't stopped doing it. And if you didn't love her so much, you'd be like, I'd have to walk out the door. But you love her. What is that one thing?
I would say lack of paying attention to detail.
Oh.
Meaning, like, every day she asks me, where's her phone? I'm like, how am I supposed to know where you put your phone?
Yeah.
Or every other week, forget her keys, things like that. In my
Okay.
mind, I have a system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my keys go on the kitchen counter, my wallet's right next
He's
to it.
very system oriented.
And when I hit that door to go to my car, it's phone, wallet, keys.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Okay.
And I'll see her check every mirror before we leave the house.
But she won't check.
And she won't check, make sure she got her phone, her wallet, or her keys.
Oh,
So
goodness.
that would be But you lucky I love you moment.
What's that one thing? CeCe, I want to know. What is the one thing Tristan does that you just find sexy? That you just find so sexy about Tristan or Daddy, as you call him?
I love just seeing him take care of business around the house, like the manly things that I know I ain't thought about doing and can't probably do. I just like seeing him handle business without me being like, baby, can you?
She gets turned on when I change the air filter.
I really do. I believe you better get up there and change that air filter. I mean, I do, because it's the little things for me. My home is my place. We're always out and about. So when I come home, like, it has to be in decency and in order. I don't necessarily just clean up for him. I clean up for my peace of mind. So when I see him, that's it.
You know what I think? I agree with you. I think the sexiest thing is about a man is when he's being a man. Changing a tire. If he's out, when a brother's changing a tire, when I see him, a brother mowing the lawn, it's not even my house, but I'm like, I don't know you, but I'm turned on. I just love that, and I think that is sexy about a man. So I love that you said that. I like that, and I think people like that too.
So single guys, get out there and mow the lawn.
Get out there, mow the lawn, do something. I don't want to see you getting your manicure while I'm getting it. I need to see you. I mean, look, if that's what you do, brother, I love you. I want my man to be taking care of himself, but I also need you working around the house. Don't be talking about, well, Dr. Don, I don't change no time. Oh,
so you like ashy hands or manicure hands?
But a man with rough hands, I don't care. But I need to see you doing a manicure. Yeah. Come on.
Some ashy cuticles.
Yes. But Dr. Don has a question from Rita in Texas, and are you two going to help me answer this question? It's a very good question. Rita from Texas, and if you want to send Dr. Don your questions on Instagram or Twitter, either one, it's the same. BTHEDRDAWN. Are y'all ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. We got Rita from Texas, and she says her best friend asked her to be in her wedding. Mm-hmm. However, Rita does not know what to do because she does not like her friend's fiance. Mm-hmm. It's just something about him I can't act like I'm happy for her when I know she's making a mistake. How should I tell her how I feel? Should I tell her, Dr. Don, yes or no? CeCe, quickly, give her a little...
I've been there.
Okay.
I've been there. Okay. Very dear friend. We all knew that it wasn't going to probably work, including herself.
Okay.
We talked about it. I told her, regardless of what's been put on the wedding or not, we can call this whole thing off if that's what you want to do. I support you. But in that as well, I'm going to support you either way. I loved her dearly. Now, it's different if it's not a close friend.
Yeah.
But if this is a close friend that she's talking about, her close friend should be able to receive what it is that she has to say in love. Okay?
I believe that.
She got to be very, very careful about how you approach her on it. But because I love you, sister, I really need to tell you this.
Yeah.
But I want to be there to support you either way.
Yeah.
That's tough. But I did go ahead and support her.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, their marriage ended.
Well, hey. Oh, let Dr. Don say. I'm going to tell you, of course I can't tell you what to do, but let me give you a little wisdom. You're really not giving me a reason. You just say it's something, and I always, when people can never tell me why, it's just a feeling. So I just have to give you my opinion from what you're telling me. You didn't give me a specific reason, but you need to look at where your concern is truly coming from. A lot of times when people get married, the friendship dynamic change, or when they're going to, and just make sure the root of your concern is genuine. That's all I'm going to tell you, sister. But I would say, as long as it comes from a place of love, it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. But if you do feel something and it's coming from a genuine place, then definitely tell her. However, but like I always tell people, you want to tell somebody something, you tell them and you move on. It is their decision. So it's your decision after you tell her how you feel about her fiance. If you want to be in the wedding, that's on you. You cannot make her not get married, any of that. So you have to decide, do I want to be in the wedding? But once you've told her how you felt, you have to move on. That's it. You can't make people do what you want them to do. That's not the real world. But just leave her alone. I hope it works out for you, sister. That's all I have to say. But I want to thank this couple, this hot couple with the hot hair. She got hair heat up. But anyway, look, Love Lounge, CeCe's Pieces, and Tristan. And I love them both to pieces. But until next Friday, God bless you guys and have a good weekend. Y'all are awesome. Yay. Awesome sauce.
Thanks for watching, friends. I hope
y'all
you enjoy
are awesome.
I'll have this on Facebook.